Hey guys, so somebody asked me how I can change just a 2-channel or 6-channel total radio into having multiple flight modes. So I figured I'd go over this. So just the default behavior I have on one channel. So if you can see on these two flight modes, horizontal and altitude hold, they are both getting their signal from aux2, auxiliary 2, right there, and you can see that right here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you on my receiver here in a second, but on that channel I'm able to flip into horizon mode, so you can see that right there, that little it's given a 2000 microsecond pulse. Then if I flip another switch on my transmitter, now it moves over. This gives a 1400 microsecond pulse, which is now horizon mode and altitude hold. Then if I flip a switch back up, the first one that I flipped down, if I flip that back up, now I have just altitude hold, and then back to both switches being up. So let me show you the switches. These are the two switches I'm switching down. So I'm going to go back and forth here a little bit. With both of these switches up, I'm at a 1000 microsecond pulse on that channel. If I flip the flap switch down, I'm getting a 2000 microsecond pulse. And sorry, my radio is pretty close here. So now you can see it flips that down to, or up to 2000. Then if I flip my elevation dual rate switch down, I can have that switch to 1400, and then if I flip my flap switch back up, now it goes down to 1200, and then if I put the altitude hold back on, or the elevation dual rate back up, now it's on both. And if subsequently, if I just push if I just want altitude hold, I can switch that down, obviously. So you can have independent on either one of those. So essentially that turns this one channel into a bunch of settings. So how do you do that? Well, on the Spektrum DX6i, you do that, and let's see if I can get the light out of the way, with mixes. So you can see here's my mix for the flap switch. So honestly, if you'd copy that to be exactly that, and not copy it, but send yours. So the first thing is it's operating on the flap switch, which is this big switch. It's acting on the flaps switch, which is aux2 channel. So that's the auxiliary 2 channel for my 6-channel radio. The other 4 channels are obviously the gimbals, and there's 2 extra channels. And then the rate for when it's down is negative 120%, and when it's up, it's 40%. Actually, it's negative 40%. And then it's using the elevator dual rate switch, which is right there, to enact that change. So there's a number of, and I'm sorry for the, it's not focusing here. I don't know how to make that much better. But you can change that to be different switches. Elevator dual rate, you can be aileron dual rate, rudder dual rate, or the mix. And that's how it's done. It's simply setting that up in the mix gives you that behavior. So that's one switch. So I still have the auxiliary 1 channel. So if I slide up, I have my auxiliary 1 channel, which is the gear switch on this transmitter. I'll show you that. It comes into focus here. Focus! Focus! I can't ever get it to focus. Whatever. That's the gear switch. There you go. It's upside down. But anyways, I have that. So if I flip the gear switch up, it goes into arm mode to arm the quad, or the plane. And then if I flip my aileron dual rate switch down, which I have to go down here to return to home, guess. Here we go. I gotta look on the screen here. Sorry. Yeah, right there. Nav return to home. So that's also an auxiliary one, as you can see there. If I flip my aileron, I have there's two mixes, at least in this radio, you can use. So I have mix 2 set up. If I have my aileron and I flip that down, that will change it that it's still armed, because that slider is big enough up top here that it's still within the arming range. But now I'm at return to home mode. Obviously, if I disarm the quad or the airplane and I flap the gear switch back down, then it disarms and turns off return to home. So that would obviously disarm it altogether. So that is here. My button's a little sticky. But that setting is right here. So you can see in that scenario, you can get it to focus a little bit better. It's the gear switch is acting on the gear switch, down at 0%, up it's negative 90%, and it's the aileron dual rate switch. That's the mix switch for it. So there you go. And actually, if I would use the down percentage here and increase that to something, I could actually have that auxiliary have another position as well, one more position in it to do something else if I wanted it to. So there you go. I hope this helps, and happy flying.